good to be back in the building with the guys. Opportunity to watch film, grow, learn how we can get better. Good teams continue to get better throughout the course of the season. So the challenge for us is to prepare and practice the right way so we can go play our best football on Saturday. Looking forward to being back in Neyland, seeing our fans, and have an opportunity to kick off the game with this group. So open it up.
Questions? Start with Adam.
Josh, Nico had a squirrel open on a sideline route, deep route early in the game. You guys went back to it later for that long completion. It was right after the interception. Is there any part of you that says, we've got a young quarterback, let's be conservative, let's not take an aggressive shot, or is it the opposite?
I think his body language, his demeanor, his composure leads you to believe that he's going to go play the next play independently. We don't want to turn the ball over. I'd like to have a couple of those back. But I think one thing we learned about him is how he's going to respond to something that doesn't go positive, doesn't go his way. And he came back and played the next play independently, played like the first play in the game.
Ben and Vince.
Josh, there's always a lot of talk outside the building about how your offense is maybe air raid or this and that. How gratifying was it to have a win where the rush offense and the defense led the way?
That's kind of laughable to me, to be honest. You look at our ability to run the football, since we've been here, statistically, over the last close to a decade, we've always ran the ball really efficiently and effectively. We have balance. We do create big plays in the pass game, but we create those things in the run game too. And I was proud of the physicality that we played with on the offensive line. Our tight ends, our running backs played that way too. And same thing on the other side of the football. You look at the way our front seven played at the line of scrimmage. That was a big part of the football game.
Josh, in the post game, you talked about things you guys can correct. I'm sure you watched tape and talked to the team. What about some of those personal foul penalties? How much you guys kind of emphasizing cleaning that kind of stuff up?
Yeah, you got to play smart football. You can't do things that hurt yourself. Keenan wasn't trying to be egregious on his. He thought the running back was still coming at him. So we got to be smart. Special teams. The first couple of weeks we've had a couple of penalties. You can't change the field position game, and we got to continue to grow in that area.
Austin and Rob.
Coach, we've all seen the gif of you getting excited on the sideline.
I have not seen it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, and then Josh Joseph was in the locker room last night. He talked about how, fired up you were in the locker room post game. How do you balance the kind of like player coach who wants to still be a kid at heart versus being stern, that type of thing, in those type moments?
I am still a kid at heart. You got to enjoy this game's hard. They got good coaches. They got scholarships too. Every Saturday, you look at scores across America. Every Saturday, it unfolds differently, and so that's why you got to prepare and practice the same way. Be consistent in that. Be an elite competitor every day, not just on game day. We talked about that inside of our team room today. But man, if you're not going to enjoy the opportunities that you get, and then if you are successful, I think you're missing the boat. And so we try to have fun inside of our building. That's after a game in the locker room, but it's also every day. We should enjoy what we're doing and who we're doing it with, and we do inside of this building.
I know it's a small sample size with just 2 games, but is your opinion of your defense to the point where it's changing your game planning through the week, or changing the way you're a play caller on Saturday?
Every Saturday is going to unfold differently, and from the structure that you're seeing from the opponent, in all 3 phases of the game, to how the game unfolds. You try to be smart, aggressive in everything that we do. We want to play with an aggressive mentality. I want our coaches to call it aggressive, let our players go make plays, put them in a position to make plays. But then you got to play extremely smart situational football too. 2-minute drive at the end of the half. We're in a position to get it going. We have a penalty. Try to play smart football there at the end and make sure we got points, knowing that we're getting the ball coming out in the second half as well.
Patrick and Brent.
Coach, you guys obviously use a lot of two tight ends in this game. What kind of element does that add to your offense if you can play with two guys? Does it give you flexibility where you can line those guys up? Does that more in the run game? How does that help you guys expand as an offense and evolve as you look?
Well, for us, you know, historically, at points in our career, we've been able to do that because of the depth of the room. With everything that we faced when we first got here, scholarship reductions, you know, you try to be smart in building for your future and protecting the current roster, and you know, we just haven't had the luxury of being able to do that. Now we have. Those are things that, you know, for us, we've been working on, you know, through spring ball, through training camp, and our guys went out and executed and played in a really good way.
Coach, I know you had a lot of high expectations for this defense. Have they been better through 2 games than you thought? And what has Tim Banks done to be able to put this together in year 4?
Yeah, first of all, Tim's done an unbelievable job, and that's really from day one being here. Building camaraderie, trust, chemistry on that side of the football. All of our assistant coaches in the position room, as we continue to build our roster, then we're able to play more guys, which is important. The understanding of our scheme, the fundamentals of it, it's a credit to our players and to our coaches. We're playing really good football right now. As a competitor, you're only as good as your next one. So Saturday night, that's our next test. I do love, you know, how physical, how fast we're playing. We got to continue to grow. Good teams, good defenses continue to get better. There's plenty of opportunities for us to be better in what we've done up until this point.
Sam, then Wes.
You could tell how excited the guys were for Will Brooks, but we've seen that with other groups, whether it be the tight ends. Where does that unselfishness from this team come from?
At the end of the day, it comes from your leadership inside your position rooms, guys being selfless, knowing that it's important that you celebrate the guys around you, that you pour into them, and that's, you know, new guys coming into the building, those guys showing them what it looks like to be a volunteer, what it looks like to be a player inside of this building, helping them grow as players. Out on the practice field, you see guys coaching up their teammates as much as you see coaches doing it. And it's awesome to see the energy, camaraderie, chemistry, excitement that they have for the other guys in their position.
Josh, how do you think James Pierce has played the first 2 games? I know there weren't many games the first game, but what have you seen from him? What have you seen what teams are trying to do to kind of slow him down?
He's played really well. He's applied pressure to the quarterback, hasn't gotten home, but he's been disruptive. He's done a really good job in the run game. You know, the other night, he does a great job as a dropper in some of our pressure packages, matching out the skilled personnel out in space. So he's played really well. In this game, man, you just keep plugging away, and stats are stats, you know. At the end of the day, it's about wins and losses and continuing to execute your assignment.
Eric, then Paige.
What should you expect from Kent State lining up offensively, defensively? What are some of those challenges you guys have to be ready for this week?
Yeah, for us defensively, you know, heavy mix of zone, inside, outside zone, and a lot of window dressing, you know, motion, shift, trade. We gotta do a great job being gap sound, and communicate at a high level. Offensively, you know, multiple in their coverages, a lot of pressure, so we gotta do a great job of identification. It's in run games and pass pro, and protecting the quarterback when we're dropping back, and we gotta go with some one-on-ones.
Nico was under pressure a lot against NC State. What encouraged you most about his ability to find plays, even if it was breaking down and responding to that pressure?
Yeah, we can be better at points within our technique. Wasn't true misidentification. We gotta be a little bit better with in our fundamentals and technique at times, and that's everybody. It's running back. It's, you know, the offensive line. You know, our tight ends were involved in it as well. A couple times he's a little deep in the pocket too, which applies pressure to the tackles. So it's all 11 operating as one. Made that point to our offense this morning, and that's, you know, in everything that we're doing.
Brent, Vance.
You always talk about getting better. How hard of a week is this to have everybody's full attention to getting better within the opponents you have coming in?
You can go back and look at the scores from across America each week, and there's examples of guys that didn't prepare, didn't practice right, didn't have the right competitive spirit to go take advantage of the next opportunity. There's a lot of work that goes into it. We started in, mid-January. You better have the right mindset. There's very few opportunities. This is our next one. Got to be ready to go take advantage of it. Our players, our coaches this morning, we're able to show them areas that we have to get better in, and that started today for us.
Josh, obviously, you guys as coaches are seeing looks for your opponent and preparing your offense for that, and for Nico specifically. How well is he doing in identifying things that he sees and maybe checking calls or making decisions based on how the game is played out from his standpoint after the call?
Yeah, it's first time starter. He's done an elite job of understanding our concepts, getting us into good play for 9-1, taking advantage of what he's seen from the second and third level off of their structures. Done a really good job as a decision maker and controlling what we're doing.
Austin.
Cam Sullivan, Jacoby Thomas, and Caleb Perry. Latest on those guys.
Cam Sullivan, Jacoby Thomas,
Yep, Caleb Perry.
and Caleb Perry.
Yep.
We'll see as the week goes on, but I anticipate all those guys being available for us this week.
All right, thank you. We have Bryson Easton and Corbin